Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf Nun Vav Amud Aleph. We're starting from Nun Hay Amud Beis, 2 lines from the bottom. The Mishnah. Hamagadif, somebody who curses Hashem, ain't chayiv. He's not chayiv skila. Actually, Yifaresh Hashem. Till he's explicitly, when he curses, he says the name of Hashem. So we're going to get into each name. Wait. I'm going to have Yeshua ben Kachad Yizak. Chol Yain Don Mesayid Mekinoi. Meaning throughout the whole day, the whole Meshchazman of the case, that the interviewing the Eidim, they wouldn't allow the Eidim to say how he cursed. They wouldn't say the exact name. Yaka Yoisi, it's Yoisi. They would say Yoisi at Yishlogin Yoisi. So what's the union from Yoisi? So Rashi brings down, Yoisi is the same letters, has the same amount of letters as Yud Kei Vav Kei. So, but they didn't want to say Hashem's name, so they would say Yaka Yosis Yosi, or the name of Yukei Vavke equals the Yosi equals 86, which is equal to one of the names of Hashem Elikim. Okay.
So if you don't see direct Avaya, so he's okay.
No, that's not what happened. The guy cursed the name of Hashem. They brought him to Pesach. He's Chayiv Skila. But when they interviewed the Eidim, they asked Eidim what happened. So they don't allow him to say exactly what he said. You shouldn't say the curse in the Eibishter's name. So you say Yaakov Yosi. They said that Yosi curse. They should curse Hashem. Hashem should curse Hashem. That's what they were saying. So you want to but
they do get killed.
Wait. So right now, while they're interviewing, they cannot have them say what he said exactly. So what the kind of wording would they say? Yaakov Yosi. Because that's the same, either the same amount of letters, you have Yud Kei Vav Kei, or it equals to another name of Hashem, 86 to Elikim.
So you never know what he cursed, right?
No, 1 second, wait. When it came to the Gemar Din, when the Dayanim came to actually, they concluded, hey, the Eidim are saying, Imamish cursed. So Loi Hoyge Mekina, they cannot now kill him by saying, the Eidim testifying, he said Yaakov Yosef ben Yosef, which is not the real name. That's not enough to kill him. Kol Od Lachutz. We take everyone out of Bezdin. All the other Eidim. All the other people. Shaylin is Hakadosh B'Neihem, and we ask from the biggest from the Eidim, called the one in charge. We say to him, Well, let me just say about they would tell everyone from the whole Bezdin when I said that. They took out everybody from Bezdin, all the people the spectators, those that were watching, that didn't take. They say, "All others."
The Bezdin stayed.
No, the Eidim with the Dayanim haben geblieben. Only the Eidim with the Dayanim stayed, and then the Dayanim were asked the biggest one out of them, and they would say, "Tell me exactly what he said." Now we have to hear exactly. So then he has to say Hashem's name, what he said, one time, just to hear it, to punish him, because you can't punish. What they were saying, Yaakov Yosi, they have to hear Mamish the Shem Amfeidish when they say, yeah. But the Yonim, the Yonim stand up on their feet. After they hear that, they rise in the Kleiden, machen a Kriya. Yeah, they have to. And they cannot sew it ever back. I think Gemara is going to talk. And they can't sew it back. But because the second one says, Afani Kamayo. Now the second aid doesn't have to say again what he heard exactly. I say like the first guy. And if there was a third aid, no, only the Dayana.
Why did they go to Molim?
Because it's a Lakim Nitzvah Daskel, and they heard of the Eibishter is resting between them. So that's the Dayanim. It's the Dayanim.
No, but the Eidim are saying it out what they heard.
Yeah, so that's something else. No, it says Elikim Nitzav V'Daskel by the Dayanim. Okay, Tana, we learned in the Braisa that the Megadim is not Chayiv Misa Achi Yivarech Shem Hashem B'Shem Hashem. Till he curses, one name is cursing another name. You see, one name of Hashem is cursing another name. How do you know that? It says the pasuk Benoikiv Shem Begoyma, that he cursed Hashem's name, and then it says again, shame because he cursed Hashem's name. He should die. So the double lashon, Benoikiv and Benokve, that teaches us that in order for a yid to be chai for cursing Hashem's name, that he used one shame of Hashem to curse the other shame of Hashem. Sagt die Gemara, "B'mai the Heinrich listen the Baruchihu." How do you know that Noike means to curse? Sagst du, but the because it says, "Bin the gates of Bilam." Bilam, he said, "What should I curse?" The Yidden, the Eibishter is not cursing the Yidden. Will nicht. Yeah, he's not cursing them. So the Hazara we learn out from this pasuk. You should the Eibishter you shouldn't curse.
What do you mean you curse Hashem's name back and forth?
You use one name of Hashem to curse another name of Hashem. That's
How
it.
do you say that?
So he Lamashal Yake Yosi yes Yosi.
That's the kinu.
The kinu you could say you could change the whatever. Okay, you could change it. Sagt die Gemara Ve'im.
Not to curse God. Is that what you say?
So yes, Ve'im. In fact, the Gemara let us say Noike mean Mivrasu. Maybe it means to punch a hole in the parchment where it says Hashem's name. The Chsiv, like it says, Vayikav Chayr Bedalte, that he punched a hole, he pursed a hole, Bedalte in the door. That's hard to me. And
What's the question then?
how do you know it means? How do you know that it means to curse? Maybe it means to make a. You're not allowed to cut out Hashem's name. You're not allowed to cut.
The word naked means curse.
Cut. Yeah. So how do you know naked from there Zaraya for cursing? Maybe Vayikav over there means you're not allowed to. It says Hashem's name in the parchment. You're not allowed to cut it. So the Gemara, what? And the Azar will be from here. It says we baditem the shmam by the getchkes. It says you should get rid of the names. You know, you should erase the names. But loy sasaken laHashem lekecha. But for Hashem, your God, His name's not allowed to be touched. Zok the Gemara, beina shame b'shame. But we need not just one shame. You need one shame. Should either cut the other one or. Here, it's going to have to mean that it curses the other one. How could it curse the other one? One shame curse the other. It doesn't make sense. Veleka, there isn't.
G damn, that doesn't mean anything?
Not according to this, no. So he says, Veleka, and you don't have one name steching and cutting out the other name. So say there were two names on top of the other, and he pursed one over the other. Maybe that's what it means. He says, he pursed one name, he put two names, two parchments with Hashem's name. On the top, he made a hole, and he went weiter from that hole into the next hole. So maybe it's considered as taking one name of Hashem and cutting into the next name of Hashem. So that's not true. That's he makes one hole in one parchment, he digs further, and he makes another hole in the next parchment. It's not Hashem, the num from Hashem is cutting into the other. So the Gemara, the Chayik, Shem upon the Sakina. 6 o'clock. The Chayik, Shem upon the Sakina. Say that he engraved Hashem's name on the spitz from the knife. So now you have on the spitz from the knife, you're using the Shem Hashem, which is on the spitz. You're making a hole with the name of Hashem that's on the spitz from the knife. So
Where's the two names? You said you need two names.
So you have the name of Hashem and making a hole into the next name.
Where's the name of Hashem?
On the knife, he carved out Hashem's name right on the spitz, on the tip of the knife. So
What did he say? He took a piece of paper that had Hashem's name and he stuck the knife in. And then he stuck again.
Same thing. He says, so you engrave the same thing. Here he engraved in the knife. It's the knife itself that has Hashem's name. The knife, so he says that doesn't still make sense because it's not the name of Hashem that's making the shtach. It's the sharpness of the knife that's cutting it. You're right. Okay, Hashem's name happens to be on it. But what's making the cut? The sharpness of the knife. So he says that's not a piddush. In fact, maybe it's not allowed to say Hashem's name in vain. Stam zogen Hashem's name. Maybe that's what he wants to say. The Chsiv, like it says in the pasuk, Vayikav Moshe v'Aaron, es hanosh ba'ila shenikru b'shemes v'ashartem mehoch es Hashem elokech hatira. It says Moshe and Aaron took these people that said the name of Hashem, and it says v'ashartem mehoch, and they won them from here. It says es Hashem elokech hatira. You have to fear Hashem. You can't just stam zogen Hashem's name.
Curse the name.
Not curse. No, saying Hashem's name in vain. Who says it's talking about cursing? Not cursing.
Just talking about saying.
Want to just mention Hashem's name?
You're not allowed to say, I swear to it's Tamazay. It's Hashem. You're not allowed to say Hashem's name just like that. Zog the Yimad Echad, the being a shame b'shem. First of all, you need a shame on a shame. Where's the shame? One shame doing to another shame. But like there isn't. Here the warning is, what do you say the warning that you're not allowed to say Hashem's name in vain? Is a hasei. It says, Hazara hasei lo yishma hazara. It says, Es Hashem alekecha tira. It doesn't say in the form of lo yisasei, it says in the form of an hasei. A warning that's said in the form of hasei, that's not considered as hara. So where's the hara? Says the Gemara V'Yibay, if you want. Amakar, it says in the Pasuk Vayikov, Ben Aish Yisrael says Hashem Vayikalel. Here's the story with Shlomis Bas Divri. Remember, there was a mitzvah that went in the middle of the night. He woke up this guy, this yid. He made him go work, and he lived with the woman, and they had a child. That child grew up, and he cursed another child, another person, another yid who was a mamash yid from both sides. So what did? They took him and they put him in jail. They didn't know what to do. Moshe, the effect by Meibishlan, and B'Peil Mamash, he was Chayv Skila. So this is the story. Vayikol, that this Ben Aisha Yisraelis, that's the son of the Shlomo Bas Divi, Vayikalel, and he cursed.
He cursed Hashem.
He cursed Hashem, yes. L'meina, should we say the Neikev Klalahu? Should we say, so this teaches us that what Neikev means, it's a curse. In fact, maybe it means both. Neikev means saying Hashem's name in vain. It says, Vayikev, he said a name, and he said Hashem's name in vain. Vayikala, but he also cursed Hashem. Okay, so maybe it means both. So Gemara Lo Yisal Kadaita.
At the same time, right?
Huh? Yeah. So he says, Lo Yisal Kadaita. It shouldn't enter your mind that that's the pshat. Why? The Chsiv, it says Hamakawal. It says when it comes to taking out to punish him, Mitzkila just says Hamakal. Take out the cursor. Like Chsiv, say it's Hanuikim Hamakawal. Shmami Lachadihi. So is that ayah that it's only one? It's all one thing. Noikim Makal is one thing. That's cursing. The pasuk that teaches us on the Isa of cursing, it says Ish ki yikalo, a man that will curse. What is the pasuk? The double lashon Ish. It says twice. Ish ki yikalo. What does it come to teach us? The double Ish lavasa es ha'ivdi kechovin sha'af heim muzhar malbichs Hashem ki yisol. To include a goy who curses in Hashem's name, he's included in the Isa of cursing Hashem, just like a yid. Vafa became they get killed b'sayif. We Yidden get killed b'skila. Every misa that's mentioned by a guy in the Torah, thus is it's b'sayif by sword. Yeah. Do we learn that a goy is warned on cursing Hashem from this pasuk? Ish. We learn that from the pasuk by Yodom Arishan. There's a whole pasuk, and in the pasuk it says Hashem. We're going to go through that pasuk. Hashem, it says the name of Hashem to tell us that by goyim there's a Rebbe's Lebichs Hashem. We already know from by Yodom Arishan that nobody, even goyim, are not allowed to curse Hashem's name. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha said, we need that first pasuk, the first pasuk of Ish. Only to include not just Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, but even if he says Shakai, Tzvakai, Selikim, all these names which are kinuyim, like nicknames, if he uses those names, that person is going to be chayiv also.
Where do you learn that from, the Ish?
From the second pasuk. We have two psukim because we have a pasuk already about cursing Hashem's name, Yechayev, from Adam Arishan. It says Hashem. We're going to learn it later, that whole pasuk. We learn out many, the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. 1 minute, the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, we learn out from that pasuk. Yitzav, Elikim, and over there it says Hashem's name. Hashem, so we say Hashem goes on one of the Mitzvahs B'nai Noach that you're not allowed to curse Hashem. Then we also have Ish Ki Yikalo. What do we need two psukim to tell us? That a goy is not allowed to, that a yid is not allowed to curse. So he's telling. Yeah. That's another pasuk. We already know you're not allowed to curse from the pasuk by Yodom Arishan.
No cursing allowed.
No cursing allowed. Correct. So the Gemara only rather it's coming to include kinuyim, like I told you, shakai, lakim, tzvakis. And that's our Libra Ameya, the Tanya that we learned in the Braisa. Ish, ki yikala lekav, v'nasa chete. Ma tamud leiv, what does the pasuk come to teach? V'aloi kvar nema When noikiv shem Hashem meisum, it says, if he curse the name of Hashem, he shall die. Since it says when noikiv shem meisum, as yach lo yehei chayv alal shem am yuchel. I would have thought he would only be chayiv on the Yud Kiva, on the Shem HaMiyuchad. Menayin l'Rabbis kol ha-kinuyim. How do you know to include all kinuyim, like Shakei, Lakim, and Tzvakes?
All of them are Chayiv Misa now.
Yeah. Talmud Lema, Ishki Yikala Lekov. Yeah, Chayiv Skila. Ishki Yikala Lekov. Coming Mikol Makayim, it means all, even on kinuyim. Divrei Rameya, those are the words of Rameya. Al Shem HaMiyuchad b'Misa. Only on Shem HaMiyuchad b'Misa the Chacham hold the Yid is going to be Chayiv Skila. But when it comes to Kinuyim, he's not going to be Chayiv of Misa. So 1 minute. So from here we see that there's a machlokes between Rabbei and the Chachamim. Rabbei says the two psukim is coming to teach us not only are you Chayiv for the Shem HaMiyuchad, Yud Kei Vav Kei, but also the second pasuk comes to include Kol HaKinuyim, all nicknames like Elikim, Shaka, and Tzvakes. How do we know a goy is included? Because it says double ish. So the double ish comes to include a goy. But the Chachamim say that it's coming to only by Shem HaMiyuchad Yechayev, and by Kinuyim not Chayev. And again, the ish comes to tell you a goy has the same din. Sagt die Gemara, upliga the Rabbi Yosha. Rabbi Yosha is a third shita. Rabbi Yosha argues. Rabbi Yosha, Ben Noyach Shabirach es Hashem be'kinuyim. A Ben Noyach that cursed Hashem with the nicknames, l'Rabbanan Chayev, according to Rabbanan is Chayev, my time up, it says in the pasuk, Kagei Ka'ezach, that by Kagei Ba'ezach comes to tell you, Kagei Ba'ezach who to be inan, benakvei shem. Only who's going to be Chayev, Agei Ezach will be Chayev if he curses Hashem's name, the Shem HaMiyuchad. But if it's, but if it was a Kinui, he's not going to be Chayev. A Yid won't be Chayev. Aval Oivet Kechavim, Afilu Bekinui. But Oivet Kechavim will be Chayev even if he curses Hashem's nickname. Before, so that was the Rabbanan who argued with the Meir that said that Saya Yid, Saya Goy in Ganzen is by Kinuyim. Ish comes to tell us a Goy has the same din as a Yid. Comes a Yasha, no, a Goy and a Yid don't have the same din. By the Shem HaMiyuchad we have a special pasuk, Kagir, Ka'ezach. Kagir is also a Yid. He converted. Ka'ezach, only those two, if they curse with the Shem HaMiyuchad, they'll be Chai Misa. But Kinui not. But if he's not a Yid, he's Chayv on a Kinui. That's how he learns it. It's the third shita. In fact, what about Meir? Hai Kagir Ka'ezach? My Odley. He doesn't even hold of this. Rab Meir holds that he's Chayiv, just a Yid is also Chayiv on Kinuyim. So what did they learn out from Kagir Ka'ezach? He says Geva Ezra is telling you only a Yid is going to be Chayiv Skila. To exclude, if he's not a Yid, he's going to be Chayiv Sayif. Since we had Ish to include a Goy, just like a Yid has the same dinim, right? So I would have said, hey, the Torah included it, according to Rabbi, that it's Chayvim by Kinuyov. So I would have thought the punishment should be the same as Skila. Kamash Malon, no, Kagev Ka'ezach comes to teach us that not by Skila. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, who holds our Libra Rabbanan, that on Kinuyim everybody's going to be Potter. Hi, Kageva Ezach. My, I would like, what does he do with Kageva Ezach? So he says, Kageva Ezach comes to tell you, Shem Echad Shem is Shem Achar. You have to have one Shem cursing another Shem in order to be Chai Misa. Avaloivit Kechavim, Loi Be'inan Shem B'Shem. But by a guy, you don't need to have two Shems, one Shem cursing the other. Even one Shem is enough to be Chayiv. And, okay? Zakti Yamad, we learned before Ish. So, and Rab Meir said from the double lashon we learn out that a guy, if he curses, according to Rab Meir, he's going to be chayiv just like by Yid. But side by Kinu, side regular name and side by Kinuyim. So what do you need a double Ish? Zakti Yamad, according to the Meir learns out from Ish to include a guy. But according to the Chachamim, He's not including a guy. So ishish lamali. What do we need? What do we learn now from the chacham from the double lashon? Says Gemara Tibia Torah lashon yadam. Because the Torah, that's how the Torah talks. It says sometimes a double lashon. Okay, so Gemara. Let me just see one thing. By 42, he says L'dibia hakel. Even according to Rabbi Yashin, says okay, we said it already. Okay, here we come. Sheva mitzvahs. Now we're going to have 3 blocks talking about the Sheva mitzvahs b'nei Noach. Where do we learn out Sheva mitzvahs b'nei Noach? You have that card. We have to give it out to the goyim. The Sheva mitzvah. You have to keep to the Sheva mitzvah b'nei Noach. Oh, Sheva mitzvahs b'nei Sheva mitzvahs b'nei Noach. 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach were commanded. Didn't they should make like a court system? Ubichs Hashem, and you're not allowed to curse Hashem's name. Avodah Zarah, and not allowed to serve idols. Gilu Haroyis, commit adultery. Ushvichas damim, ushvichas damim. You're not allowed to kill people. Dinim is they have to form courts. Ubichas Hashem, they're not allowed to curse the name of Hashem. Avodah Zarah, allowed to serve idols. Gilu Haroyis, commit adultery. Ushvichas damim, kill people. And they're not allowed to eat from a live animal. You rip off a limb. You're not allowed to eat from the. Oh, you have chicken already. You broke off the foot of an animal and you ashen. You know that's even minachai. Zog Yimar Rabbi Chanani ben Gamliel Oima. Af al hadam minachai. Not just eva, but even the blood from a live animal you're not allowed to eat. Chitka Oima af al asedus. That you're not allowed to castrate another person. That's a iser. As an animal as well, he says too. He brings the hand. So that's it doesn't matter either one. Even the balchai is forbidden. So the Gemara. So Rabbi Yisrael, even on witchcraft is forbidden. Rabbi Yisrael, kol davar v'teira v'pashas kishuv. Anything that says in the Torah benegay to witchcraft, ben noyach musalav. A guy is also warned on it. Then there was this Getchka Melech, and they would bring the sons or daughters to the fire. That was La Melech. Kaisim Ksamim is forbidden. They would use a stick as to decide if it's fit to do this action or not. It's a kind of kishuv. Ma'ayin the kishuv was that it's mamish with it's magic. It's faster than the eye. You don't see it. He does tricks with that's faster than the eye. Chapnish, umenachish, and
You're not allowed to be a magician.
it seems like not. He says ha'oiches is hanayim. Das acheres who hamachashiv, according to another opinion, is he estimates certain times it'll be hatzlacha to go outside, and sometimes it won't be. Okay, umechashiv is mamish witchcraft, cheva. These are all things. If you look up in the psukim, you'll see it mentions these ones. He takes behemoths v'chayis and the chashma akrabim to one place, and he says he says alachash over there. He makes kind of witchcraft. V'shoylei v'dyoni is also how do you call it? He asks in order to know what's going to be in the future. He takes Bal Oiv is somebody who brings up a mace from the ground, and he takes a bone and he puts it in his armpit, and he to know what's going to happen in the future. Shoyel Yedoni, he asks the future from a person who takes the here he says a etzem of a chaya and he puts it in his mouth. And the etzem starts talking, the bone starts talking on its own. Anyway, because of these Tayeves, disgusting things of Kishuv, they drove out the goyim from the land. So he's telling the Yidden, don't do it. And you should know they weren't punished only because they were one first. What's your question?
I'm saying thousands of years ago he had these kishuv machers all over the place. How it doesn't exist anything today.
Still does. There's a famous story I told you with a Hilke Pazna. I'll tell you after. Rabbi Lezer says that the Bnei Noach when it's Tava Af al HaKalayim. Goyim were also commanded even on the east of Kalayim. What does that mean? He said, Mutanim Bnei Noach Lilbish Kalayim and Lizoy Kalayim. They're allowed to wear shatnez and they're allowed to plant seeds together. But No, that's all over. But the only thing that goyim are forbidden is to put two different minim of animals together, or trees to be marked of two trees together. From where do we know that these are the Sheva mitzvahs for the Nayach? Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, it says in the pasuk. Here's the pasuk: Vayitzav Hashem Elokim ala Adam. The Eibishter commanded on Adam. Lema saying, from any tree over here you can eat, except for the Eitz Hadas. Vayitzav is Elohadinim. When it says Vayitzav, that's going on that the Yidden, that the Goyim should form a court system. Where do we see that? So it says in Bereshis, so you see the Lashon Tzivu, he said, Vayitzav is said with the Lashon of a court system. Tzedakah u'mishpat. And then it says Vayitzav, what's the next word? Hashem. Hashem, Zubik Hashem. That teaches us that the Goyim curse Hashem's name. Where do we see Hashem? It's associated with cursing. It says, "V'noik and Shem Hashem." One who curses the name of Hashem should be killed. Elikim. It says, "Vayitzav Hashem Elikim al Adam." Elikim. This is teaching us you're not allowed to serve idols. Where do we see Elikim associated with idols? It says, "Lo yelecha Elikim acherim." That's idols. Ala Adam. It says the next word, Vayitzav Hashem Elokim ala Adam. What's ala Adam? So shvichas damim. You're not allowed to kill a person. Where do we see Adam connected with shvichas damim? Shefer dama Adam v'geima. Somebody who spills the blood of a person. What's the next word in the pasuk? Ala Adam leimer. Leimer gila arayis is referring to adultery. Where do we see leimer has to do with gila arayis? Leimer is saying, hey nishal ishes ishtay. The man will send off his wife, and she will go away from him, and she'll be with another man. So you see, Lema is connected with adultery. Now, it says that he can eat, David commanded, Mikol Eitzel. Hagon, he can eat from that Yitrom. Chutz from Eitz Hadas. So it says, V'loy min hagazal. David told him, these you're allowed to, all these trees. So David had to be matter him which ones to eat. But something that Eibishter wasn't matter, the gzela is asa. Achal teichal, then it says you shall eat. So the achal teichal, only something that's ready to eat right away. Lo even achai is not ready to eat. So here you know, even achai is asa. Okay, for Abanay. When Rabbi Yitzchak came to Yibcha, he learned the opposite on the first two. He says Vayitzav is not going on dinim that the goyim should form a court system. Rather, Vayitzav zulav etzgechabim is going on idol worship. And Leikim, it's Elikim Zuladin, that's telling us the court system. Says the Gemara Bishlam Elikim, I understand Zuladin, that it goes on the court system. The Chsiv and Nikim Balabayis Elikim, that they should bring the Balabayis to court. So you see, Elikim is associated with a court system. Elavai Yetzav, Zula Avodah Zarah, my mashma. Where do you see Tzav connected with Avodah Zarah? One said, I have a pasuk. It says, we move fast, swiftly from the path. That I have commanded them asulahem, and that they made to themselves ego masecha. So you see that the tzivism is connected with the ego, with idol worship. One says from the Makkis from this pasuk, Ashuk Ephraim. He says, suppress Ephraim, ritzutz. Mishpat, the judgment should crush him. Because he went after Tzav. What's Tzav in that pasuk? Avodah Zarah. So you see, Tzav is Avodah Zarah. In fact, you want to buy Benai, what's the chiluk? Which pasuk you learn it out from? This pasuk, that pasuk, that Tzav is connected with Avodah Zarah. So you want to know, Benai is Fanach chiluk. Even Chacham Shasla Avodah Zarah. V'lo yishtach v'lo. A guy that made Avodah Zarah, gemacht a pesel. He made a pesel, but he didn't bow to it. Laman the Omar. The one that learns out from the pasuk asul. You remember Asher Tzivisim asul lahem. So he says Mashas Asiyim Chayiv. And he's Chayiv right from the time that he made the pesel. He's Chayiv. Avodah Zarah is Chayiv Misla. Man the Omar Kehoyil from the pasuk Kehoyil Halach Acharit Sov. So it has to be Halach Acharit Sov. Is Ad also Baso Falachla till he goes after it and he serves it. Kozman he didn't serve it. He's not going to be Chayiv. It's the same thing. A goy and a yid. Is there such a man that says, if a guy just made a pesel, but he didn't serve it, he's going to be chayiv? By the time we learned to have a raisa, we learned that anything that Bezdin will give misa to a yid, a guy is just warned on it. Ein Bezdin shall yisomim misna aleim, but if Bezdin doesn't punish a yid with misa for this type of avodah zara, ein benoich muza aleim. A benoich is not even warned on that. What are you coming to exclude? It's probably coming to exclude a yid who makes avodah zara. He's saying, so no, a yid doesn't get killed for making the avodah zara. He's just warned. So a goy is not one. No, if a yid makes, this is the exclusion. This is the exception to the case. Even if a yid made a avodah zara, he's not going to be chayiv, but a goy is not going to even be warned. No, who says that's what he's coming to exclude? He's coming to exclude hugging the avodah zara, kissing the avodah zara. To tell you, since a yid doesn't get killed on these maisim, a ben noyach is not even warned. So you want to keep up with this shuk namai. What is this kissing and hugging the avodah zara? Yeah, but he's kissing and hugging it. So if you say that's the way you serve the avodah zara, so then bakot is chayv misa. Rather, it's talking about that's not what it's not what that's your book to them. You know, anything that's kedaka, you're gonna be. They had a avodah zara that you have to pull off your pants and mach number 2. Balpei, yes. But then you chamisa, even if it's just you dump it. Yeah, so don't dump it over there. Dump it elsewhere. So you want to didn't eat good. You're saying it was commanded that they should have a court system. That's part of the Sheva mitzvahs b'nei noyach. But Tanya, I'll show you it's not true. As the mitzvahs and stavi yisod b'mara, there were 10 mitzvahs that the Yidden were commanded in Mara. That's Har Sinai. Sheva shekiblu aleim b'nei noyach. 7 out of the 10 were the b'nei noyach also accepted. And they added 3 more for the Yidden to make a court system, to hit in Shabbos and Kibbutz Av. That means, but that's not part of the Sheva Mitzvah B'nei Noyach. Din or not. So how do you say dinim are part of the Sheva Mitzvah B'nei Noyach?
That's a question.
We said that one of the Sheva Mitzvah B'nei Noyach is that the guy should make dinim, that should make a court system. Says the Gemara, how could you say that? We know there's saying that it says that when the Eibishter gave on Sinai, the 7 of them were for the B'nei Noyach, and the Eibishter added another 3 for the Yidden. Which were the 3 that he added for the Yidden? In addition to the Sheva Mitzvah B'nei Noyach, dinim. But so that means dinim wasn't part of B'nei Noyach. Shabbos and Kibbutz Av. Says the Gemara, dinim d'chsiv sham. It says over there, sam lo yichayku mishpat. Shabbos v'Kibbutz Av d'chsiv. Kasher tzivcha Hashem alekecha. Amar Rav Yehuda, kasher tzivcha b'mara. So the mitzvahs of Shmiras Shabbos v'Kibbutz Av were given b'mara. It's all part of the Pesukim in Mara. So Zakasha, there he's not talking about the court system. Yeah, the Goyim had it. What the Eibishter added for the Yidden is that you need 23 dayanim. By Goyim, you don't need 23 dayanim. You need Eidim to testify. By a Goyim, 1 aid is enough. V'hasra, need an asra. So that's what he added in addition to the Goyim. In fact, if he only added details, why are you saying dinim? He means a different thing. Dinim, yeah, they formed a system. What did he add for the Yidden? Dinim knosses. It should have said in dinim, Eibishter made in the court system that there should be another concept of knosses. But don't say dinim, the whole concept of dinim. Rather, what did they add by dinim? That there's a choy by Yidin that they should have in every city a besna. So the Bnei Noyach weren't commanded that they should have also a court in every city. We learned in the Braisa. Shem shin stav yisol lohish bati did mechol pelach upelach b'chol iba here. Kach netzav b'nei neich lohish bati did mechol pelach upelach b'chol iba here. So how could you say it's only the David had it for the Yidden, that the Yidden should have in every city, not going, but we learned in the Befedish that just like by the Yidden they have to have a court in every city, so to the Goyim. Alamarava, Hai Tana Devei Menashehu. This Tana is a Tana from the base Medrash of Menashe, the Mapik that he learns from from the Shivas of Mitzvahs, that the Bnei Noach were Nitztava, he learns Dach. Dach means Dinim Obichs Hashem. So he says, Mapik, he took out the Dach, and he exchanged it for Ayol Sach, that it's Ashtot Dach, Dinim Obichs Hashem. He says, no, what were the two Sidus, that you're not allowed to castrate a person or Balchai, and Klayim, they're not allowed to take two behemoths, two different minim, and put it together with two trees. The Ton of Nasha, that in the base Medrash of Menashe, they learned this Braisa. It says, Sheva mitzvahs nistav b'nei Noach. 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach were commanded. Havei Zora, Gilu Aroyos, Shvechazdamin, Gozel, Le'evim, and Achayim. And the last two, Seirus, the Kilayim. Rabbi Yehuda ima, Adam Arishon lo nistav ela Havei Zora b'vad. Rabbi Yehuda says that the only tzivud that Eibishter gave for Adam Arishon was Avodah Zarah. Shenema Yitzav Hashem Elokim Al Adam. Elokim is referring to Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Yehuda b'Seira Ima Af Al Biras Hashem. Rabbi Yehuda had it not just on Avodah Zarah, but also on cursing Hashem's name. And others say there was a third one, Af Al Hadinim. Even on making a court system, that the Goyim should have a court system. Kaman Ozalha, like who was this Maimah said? The Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav. That Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rav. What did Rabbi Yehuda say in the name of Rav? So he's that I'm sorry that 3, that it was 3. So he says, because it says Alekimani Loisi Kalaluni, Alekimani is going on Avodah Zarah, you shouldn't curse me. Alekimani Loisi Miruni, you should not exchange me for other getchkas. For other get to do mishpat for tzedek. So you have Sai Avodah Zarah, Sai cursing Hashem, Loisi Kalaluni, and Loisi Miruni teaches us that they should have the court system. So if you want to come on, like who was this said? Like the Yeshayman, that the Yeshayman, the last day has said it's 3. First day he said it's 1, Avodah Zarah. The second day he said it's Avodah Zarah and cursing Hashem's name. And the third day was the one that said the Yeshayim, all 3. I will stop over here.